Hey guys, Swordsman here, bringing you some more Battlefield 3 goodness. This gameplay is basically me playing by myself, I think, against most of the D crew from the D crew night last, what was it, Saturday? The results were interesting, needless to say, when going up against all those guys. So I'll just leave that as it is. I have a commentary topic in mind that I want to discuss today. I think I might have figured out Battlefield 3 and how it'll work for me. This is not to say that my theory here will work for everybody. But after an alpha, a beta, in 1 week of retail, I think I've figured out Battlefield 3 for my own personal usage. With that said, I do not see Battlefield 3 as being what I would consider a competitive FPS. That just does not seem to be how it is to me in my experiences and what I've witnessed. That said, I consider a game like Bad Company 2 to have been a competitive FPS. Games like Halo. Well, Gears is a competitive third person, but anyway. Stuff like that. What I'm basically getting at is that I've decided that Battlefield 3 is much more like a Sandbox FPS. It is much more like an MMO FPS. For those of you that may not be familiar with what an MMO FPS, you might just look at PlanetSide and the upcoming PlanetSide 2. Now, essentially my contention is this. Battlefield 3 is the biggest sandbox shooter I've ever seen when it comes to the depth and variety of shit you can do in the motherfucker. It is just that much stuff in it. And the more I play, the more I realize that the mindset that I've previously held for most FPS games that I play, it just doesn't seem to really apply all that well to Battlefield 3. And I think ultimately that is not DICE's fault. That is not EA's fault. That is my fault for assuming I can force my mindset, my round mindset, into a square hole. And I just don't see that as working as it currently is. But I'm going to try to expand on this a little bit. To me, Battlefield 3 plays more like an MMO FPS than anything else, because the game at its core is all about leveling up. It's all about character advancement. It's all about unlocking not just guns now. You know, it's not just guns anymore. It's all about unlocking the equipment, the specializations, the armor, the weapons, the air-to-air, like everything is all about character progression, whether it's your personal character, your tank's progression, your jet's progression, everything is, this is an MMO FPS that is completely instanced. That is what it feels like to me. Now, whether or not this is a bad thing is up for each person to end up deciding. To me, it was a bad thing when I tried to keep forcing it to be a competitive FPS, but I really don't think that is the goal here. Or if it was the goal of DICE, I think they missed their mark. If they went for a sandbox FPS where everyone can find a way to enjoy it, I think they nailed it. That said, that probably is going to mean that I will be adjusting my playstyle and what I hope to get out of a game accordingly. Now, you might be asking, what does that mean? Well, every time I play Battlefield 3, the way I would play other games, such as Bad Company 2 or Black Ops or whatever, any other competitive game where I tried to win with objectives, I end up getting mad and frustrated and let down and disappointed, and it just irks me. That with there being so many things to do out there in Battlefield 3, that it usually has me looking around realizing that I'm one of the few guys playing the way that I play, and I get frustrated because other people aren't doing the same. And in, say, that the case of Conquest, I can cap flags all day long. It's not the glorious role in Battlefield 3. Why this why this fence will not go down? I have no idea. It's like a Chuck Norris fence, for fuck's sake. I don't know. Anyway, you know, it just seems like everybody in Battlefield 3 is off doing their own thing, while I have been trying to act and make myself think that the weight of the game winning and losing is somehow on my shoulders, and that if I can just cap this flag faster and go get this flag and then come around to protect this flag and then go get that flag, you know, then my team will win, and then they will be happy they have achieved victory and shit. But it just doesn't seem to play out like that. Everybody else is off doing their own thing, you know. The guys up in the sky flying, they don't give a fuck about flags. They don't care who's capping flags down below. Guy who's in the chopper circling around the enemy deployment, they don't give a fuck who's planning MCOMs or who's capping flags. The guys rolling around in the tanks, you know, they don't really care that they're in a fucking tank. I mean, what's there to care about, you know? So, what I'm getting at is I kind of think I'm going to just flat out adapt my playstyle to do whatever the fuck I want at any given time. I said it before. I put it up before Gears 3, MW3, and Battlefield 3 released that this year's gaming, I don't give a fuck what people decide to label overpowered. If something's fun, I'm going to use it. If I have even more fun using it and posting it, I'm going to post it, you know? So, you know, that's where I'm coming from right now. And I think, basically, with my mindset being made up that Battlefield 3 is more of a sandbox than a competitive FPS, I don't know. I'm going to be trying to change my mindset and just playing to fuck around and have fun. That is why you saw a bit of a jet gameplay earlier from me today. I did very little to help the team win there. I mean, I had fun in a jet, flying around, barely got shot at, did my best to spot. Why was I doing that? Because flying in jets seems fun. I wanted to unlock flares, and I just didn't really care about whether the team won or lost or not that game. I just didn't. I'm tired of being one of the only people that care whether or not the team wins. So I spent that game mostly in a jet. When I got shot down in a jet, I ran over to see if there was another jet. There wasn't, so I got in a tank. Next best thing. And then I went about my happy way blowing shit up with a tank. That just seems to be the mindset in gameplay style that Battlefield 3 has encouraged. That seems to be the way the majority of the players have been taking it. So, for my own sense of enjoyment, I'm probably going to adapt. I love how just the doorway frame in a T or whatever is just standing there perfectly. Anyway, distracted. So anyway, I guess that's basically the outline of what conclusion I've come to when it comes to Battlefield 3. I don't clearly think I'm putting this in the best terms I could be. This is just an insight into my brain at the moment for what I've been thinking. And since kind of swapping to this mentality of how to view and approach Battlefield 3, I've been having a bit more fun. And at the end of the day, that's why I want to game. I want to have fun. And if I can have fun with my friends, that's a giant fucking bonus, you know? That is what I game for. That is why I got into it. Playing games with friends that I care about was fun to me. And so, maybe it's just me. Maybe some of you guys disagree. I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments if you do. But it seems abundantly clear to me that Battlefield 3 is a completely different beast when it comes to being a sandbox FPS, an MMO-esque FPS. That it's all about your character progression, and that whatever you do to progress your character, be it your vehicle, your soldier, your tank, chopper, jet, whatever, that's just a never-ending sort of, well, I guess it will end at some point, but it is a purposefully elongated path to get all those things, that they're almost like a typical MMO syndrome where they dangle that carrot a little bit more, you know, try to get you to chase after it for longer and longer. Typically there's a subscription fee attached to those, but not so in this case. Alright, the gameplay is winding down. I hope you've enjoyed the actual gameplay. This was a very, very hard-fought game that I knew I had to bring my A game to try to even hope to win this when the teams were so heavily stacked against me. And I just really want to take a time here to really call out those guys I was playing against. It just seems a little unfair to team stack like that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, you know, but it just seems so unfair for a group of friends to want to play on the same team as one another. And frankly, I'm a little ashamed that they were so flagrantly team stacking like this, and it really ground my gears, and just shame on them, sirs. I just hopefully they know who they are, and I don't need to dwell on this too long, and they're ashamed. But I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe so. We'll see. Anyway, those are my opinions on how to approach Battlefield 3. That's how I'm going to try to approach it to get the most amount of fun out of it. Because I'm tired of being frustrated being the only people that care about playing the objectives and trying to win. So Battlefield 3 just turned into my personal sandbox. That's really all I got to say. Don't really care if anyone likes it or doesn't like it. That's how I'm going to try to get the most amount of fun out of my gameplay time. Take care, guys. I'll see you next time.